guys, welcome to my channel, Sports Bra and Leggings. I'm Darielle, and today's video is going to be a focus on flexibility. So a lot of the poses that we'll be getting into will really be sinking into them and holding them for a while to really help increase that muscle endurance over time. It doesn't matter on what level of flexibility you're on, really great, or just starting off. Anybody can unroll their mat and hop in this flow and just really get their muscles going. So let's get to it. So we're going to begin today's flow on our backs. We're going to start off with a light Shavasana. So laying flat on our backs, palms up and open. Body completely relaxed. We're just going to start by taking a few breaths. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Eyes closed, taking a few more breaths to yourself, clearing your mind as we prepare for this flow. Floating your eyes open. We're just going to start off with some wrist rolls. So coming up with our elbows at a right angle and just rotating our wrists around in a circle. We use our wrists all day, every day, typing, writing, driving, cooking, holding the remote control, holding our babies. These poor things are always in motion, so it's great to really stretch them out and get their fluid moving as much as possible. Switching directions. Coming to a stop and just holding your hands flat open, spreading your fingers wide. We're going to do wrist snapbacks. So send your wrists forwards and then backwards, repeating this motion. And then placing your hands down. We're going to do the same thing with our feet joints. So rolling them around in a circle, wide circles. And then switching directions. Coming back to center, doing the same thing that we did with our hands. So pushing our heels out and then pulling them back and pushing our toes out. Flexion and extension of our ankles. Heels to toes, heels to toes. Coming back to center, we're going to start by bringing our right knee to our chest, clasping our fingers together, grabbing that knee and gently pushing it towards us, towards our chest. Remembering to breathe. And on your next exhale, releasing that leg back down, hands going above your head, bringing that left knee up now, grabbing it, pulling it gently towards your chest. Releasing that left leg down, arms over your head, grabbing your right leg one more time. Pulling it a little further if you can than the first time, and just holding it here. Really feeling it in that right hip as we begin opening it up. Breathing. For every exhale, I want you to remember, especially during this flexibility flow, to allow yourself to sink deeper. Every exhale, allow the pose to go deeper and deeper along your comfort zone. Remembering to breathe while working on your flexibility is super important. As we exhale, we allow our muscles to expand just a little bit more. Exhale, releasing that leg down, arms overhead, grabbing our left knee again, pulling it towards us, breathing. Really feeling that hip open up. Releasing that left leg, arms overhead. Bringing both knees up together now. We're actually going to grab our big toes with our middle pointer and thumb. Spreading our knees open, pointing them outwards, and really getting that inner stretch from our inner thigh. Lightly pushing our heels down towards our thigh. Releasing, bringing both of our knees together now, grabbing them, giving ourselves a hug. And then rolling around in a circle. Really getting all aspects of that back, the outer edges, the middle, switching directions. It's always harder for me to go counterclockwise. All right, releasing our hands, dropping our feet down flat on the mat. Letting our knees fall all the way down to the right. Letting both arms out to the side, gazing out over that left side. Really feeling it in your lower back, maybe in your thighs a bit. Coming back up to center. Dropping those knees to the opposite side, gazing out over that right hand now. Coming back to center. Bringing both knees up to your chest again. Grabbing coming back to center, pulling both knees up again, crossing your leg, grabbing both big toes, and roll. Coming back to center, lifting both knees up again, grabbing behind that knee on the back of that lower thigh, gently pushing your knees towards your chest. Keeping your knees bent at this almost 90-degree angle. Releasing your feet back down to the mat. Lifting those knees back up. This time straightening your legs a little more. Maybe at like 135 degrees. It's geometry. Gently pushing back. Releasing back down to the mat slowly. Coming back up one more time. Getting your legs as straight as you can. It's fine if your lower back comes up just a little bit, but we don't want it to come up too much. Really want to get the stretch in the back of these thighs. From here, I'm bending your knees back to that 90 degrees. And we're actually going to roll forwards and backwards. Rolling, letting the roll deepen. And whenever you're ready, rolling all the way up into a seated position. I'm gonna face you guys. From here, rolling our shoulders forward. Rolling them backwards. Coming back to center, taking our right hand, placing it on the left side of our head, and gently pulling it down, feeling that stretch to the left side of our neck. Releasing, coming back to center, taking our left hand, placing it on the right side of our head, gently pressing down. And coming back to center. Releasing our legs straight forward. We're going to take our left leg, bring it on the outside of our right knee. Placing our left hand flat on the mat on this left hip. Raising this right arm. Creating a 90-degree angle and taking this right elbow, placing on the outside of that left knee. Twisting this deep spinal twist. Half Lord of the Fishes. Releasing that elbow, bringing that opposite hand to the other side, that right hand flat beside your right hip. Releasing our leg back straight. Bringing our right leg up now. Placing that foot on the outside of our left knee. Bringing our left hand up. Down at a 90-degree angle, taking that elbow to the outside of that right knee and twisting. Releasing out of that pose, undoing our foot. Coming up now into a yogi squat. The long way on our mat. Heels flat on the mat. Widening this stance, bringing your arms and elbows in between your knees, straightening your back, bringing hands to heart center. Setting the intention for this practice to be open as you work on your flexibility. Bowing down lightly. Opening your eyes. Let's get into this flow. So slowly bringing our bodies all the way up, widening our stance, starting off with the middle bend, toes pointed outward. We're just gonna bring our hands to our waist first, and breathe here. Next inhale, bringing your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And as you fold down, pushing our hips backwards and folding over. Placing your hands down on the mat in front of you. Middle bend, breathing here. For every exhale, as you deepen this pose, we're going to heel toe outwards just a little bit more. Doing that as much as you feel comfortable. Breathing here, you're doing great. Standing strong through those pinky toes. For this next exhale, we're actually going to bring our hands back to be in line with the arches of our foot. Breathing here. Next exhale, we're going to lower our heads down to the mat. Staying balanced, feeling the stretch here in the back of our legs, our hamstrings, our inner thighs. Exhale, slowly raising our heads up, bringing our hands back in front of us. Heel toeing back inwards, just a little bit. Now we're going to drop to the right side, keeping that heel down, lifting up the left, keeping our hands on the ground. I like to place one directly underneath me and one out in front, pointing that toe for a side lunge. And switching sides. If you need to come up on your toes a little bit as you lunge over, that's perfectly fine. And switching back to that right side. Really using your hands as support here. One more time, back to the left. Coming back slowly to the middle. Slowly raising our bodies all the way up. Bringing our hands together down to heart center. Now bringing our heels inward, pointing our toes outward, lowering down into goddess pose. Bringing our hands down to our knees. We're going to drop our right shoulder, pushing our left one back. Coming back to center, dropping our left shoulder, pushing that right one back. Coming back to center, making sure we're grounded. Slowly coming up on your toes if you can. Releasing your hands from your thighs, opening them up. Releasing those heels back down, slowly raising our knees back up. Shaking your hips a little bit if you need to, just shake them out. Pointing our toes back forward. Getting a lot done in this middle bend here. Reaching down on the right side first, grabbing the outside of that heel. Keeping our left hand on our hip. Raising back up, dropping down, doing the same thing on our left side. Raising back up. Now we're going to do the opposite foot, so we're going to take our left hand and grab the outer edge of that right foot. Raising back to center, doing it on the opposite side. So we're taking our right hand, going down to that left foot. Coming back to center. All right. So now turning both our feet forwards. Dropping our hands down to the mat. Dropping your knee down, flipping that toe under, coming into this low lunge. Getting comfortable here. So if you need to scoot your feet out a little bit or scoot that knee out a little bit, whatever you need to really feel this flex into this left hip. Hands flat on both sides of your foot, keeping that front knee bent and balance strong. Remembering to breathe. From here, slowly coming back on that knee, straightening that front leg. Bringing your heel, pushing it outwards, pulling that front toe up and coming into a runner's lunge. Fingertips on the mat to support. Dropping that right foot down, bending that knee again, climbing back towards the top. Hands back flat on both sides of the foot in this low lunge again. From here, slowly raising your body up, putting your hands in your hips, really deepening that stretch, staying balanced. Bringing our hands up at a right angle at the elbows, like we're at a football goal. Slightly bending back, pushing our hips forward, getting that deep stretch for that hip muscle. Slowly coming back to center. Bringing our arms flat on the mat, flipping our toes over, lifting that left knee, bringing our right foot all the way back and up into three-legged dog, really extending that right foot outwards, dropping our left foot, bending at the knee here into a right angle, letting the hips stack one on another. Feeling that stretch there. Staying strong and grounded through our hands. Unstacking that hip, straightening that leg back up, and then coming down into downward facing dog. Getting comfortable here. Deep breathing, letting your head hang. Feeling this full body, total body stretch. Moving around if you need to here. It's our first down dog of the flow. So doing whatever you need to do. And when you're ready, in your next exhale, you're going to step that left foot up in between our hands. Slowly dropping that right knee, flipping those toes over, going into a low lunge on the opposite side. So getting back comfortable here. On the opposite side, stretching out that right hip. Allowing your body to open up as it needs to. Bending that right leg now, straightening that front leg, slowly coming back, sending that heel forward, those toes up in the front, coming up on our fingertips into this runner's lunge. If you go too deep in a stretch and you need to lift up a bit, nothing wrong with that at all. Slowly coming back up, dropping that foot down, climbing our hands back up, bending that front knee again, straightening that back one out. Slowly coming up onto our hips. Breathing. If you feel any type of pressure on your opposite knee, it means you need to extend it just a bit more. We don't want to be on our actual knee. Bringing our hands up, the right angle, football goal. Slowly opening up. Coming back to center, dropping our hands down, flipping our toes over, raising that right knee up, bringing that left foot back and up to three-legged dog, dropping that right foot down, bending at the knee, stacking those hips. Unstacking those hips, straightening that leg back out, coming back into downward facing dog. Breathing here. On your next exhale, coming into high plank. Exhale, lowering down to low plank, flipping those toes over. Inhale, upward facing dog. Breathing here. So we feel that stretch in our lower back. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, raising up again. Upward facing dog. Exhale, lowering down. Doing an extended version of this pose. So placing both hands out, making a T shape. Using our fingertips to help us as we lift up our chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Using your core as you lift as well. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. If you're feeling that you don't like this position, you don't like the way it feels, you can also bring your hands in. Only lifting your chest and your head. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Breathing here. Flipping our toes over, coming back onto our hands, pushing up into that high plank. And then dropping our knees into tabletop. Doing an extended needle and thread here. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend our right leg, and then we're going to swoop it back behind our left. We're going to balance on this left hand, and we're going to swoop our right hand underneath, dropping our shoulder and extending this left hand out. Dropping your head onto the mat. You should feel this in a few different areas, from top to bottom. You should feel it in your shoulders, on the outsides of your thighs. Remembering to breathe. Bringing your left hand up, pushing yourself up, pulling this right hand through, but we're going to leave our right leg here just a bit longer. Bending our left knee a little bit, really getting that deep stretch in the back of your thigh. Coming back to center, slowly bringing that right leg back around, back into tabletop. Doing the same thing on the opposite side. So swinging that left leg, straightening it out, swinging it behind the right. Balancing on that right arm now, swooping our left through, lowering down, bringing our head down to the mat, extending our right arm. Feeling it in all the places here. Bringing our right hand back up, pushing ourselves up, bringing that left hand through. Leaving that left leg over there, sitting just a little bit. Coming back up to center, slowly swinging that leg back around, back into tabletop. Breathing here. Having our wrists stacked beneath our shoulders, our knees beneath our hips, spine straight. Pressing away from the mat, shoulders away from our ears. From here, coming into cow face, I'm going to switch and face you guys. So we're going to first come and just sit back on our feet, so maybe shake your shoulders out a bit. Roll your wrists around. Coming into cow face, we're going to use our hands to support. Again, we're going to take this right knee, swoop it behind the left knee. Come back sitting on our bottoms. Using our ankles to readjust as necessary. Trying to get both knees lined up. Once you feel like you're there, straightening your back and breathing. Breathing super duper helps here. This is one of those where you have to breathe for it to get comfortable. To do the opposite side, we're actually going to swing all the way around in a 180. I think it's a lot of fun. As you swing, to help you remember, right now we have our left knee on top. When we swing around, we're going to make sure we have our right knee on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up onto our hands lightly, coming up onto our feet, and allowing our body to turn and swing. Coming back here, dropping our left foot low now, bringing our right one on top, popping a squat, lining our knees up, breathing. A lot of times when you do things, it feels different on one side than the other. Usually one side is tighter than the other. That's totally fine. Have more patience with your side that's tighter. Doing that 180 spin again, coming up and spinning around. I'm gonna come back to the top of my mat like you guys, coming into that forward fold. When you get to this forward fold, you need to start off with your knees bent, totally fine, getting comfortable wherever you want to put your hands, on your thigh, your ankles, on your feet, or on the mat. For every exhale, trying to get those legs as straight as possible. Remembering to breathe here, you're doing great. Inhale to give ourselves a break, placing the fingertips on the mat, gazing upward, straightening that back into the forward lift. Exhale, forward fold back down. This time on our inhale, we're going to slowly raise our bodies up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Bringing our hands up. Big inhale. And as we exhale and lower our hands, we're going to bring them to our backs. Clasping our fingers together. On our next exhale, sending our shoulders backwards, slowly lowering our bodies down, keeping our heels flat on the mat. Pushing our chest towards the mat, really feeling this in our shoulders. Exhale slowly, coming back up. Big inhale, exhale, lowering back down. pushing your hands towards the wall as much as comfortable for you. Exhale, coming back up. Releasing our hands, shaking out our shoulders. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, folding over. Inhale, fingertips on the mat. Forward lift. Exhale as we lower our hands down on the mat, stepping back into high plank position. Dropping our knees down to the mat again, coming into tabletop. Then sitting back on our feet. Breathing here. Raising up off of our feet now. Hands down by our sides. We're going to swoop our right hand across our bodies in diagonal fashion. Gaze up in that left upper corner, letting our left arm continue to drop. And we're going to bring it back down. Doing the same thing on the opposite side. Taking our left arm diagonal. Gazing upward in that right catty corner and coming back down. Doing that again on right side and back down on our left. Back down. One more time on our right. Coming back down and our left. Coming back down. Dropping our hands to the mat, bringing our feet under us, back into yoga squat. Straightening our back, heels on the mat. Really getting comfortable with having our knees bent and our quads stretched out as we reach our peak pose, which is reclined hero. So bringing our hands flat on the mat, coming up into downward facing dog. Reaching that right leg up and pulling it through, dropping it down into pigeon pose. We really want to make sure our quads are stretched out as we get into reclined hero. Flipping those toes over, raising that knee, coming back into high plank. Pushing up into downward facing dog. Raising that left leg up. Pulling it through into pigeon. Flipping those toes over, raising that knee up, bringing that foot back into high plank pose. Exhale, lowering down to four-limb staff, tucking those toes, lifting up into upward dog. Exhale, flipping those toes back over, pushing our butts up into downward facing dog. Bringing our feet to meet our hands, and then lowering back down. As we sit on our feet this time, we're going to work on sitting between them. So if you can, sit between your feet, tucking them on the outer edges of your butt. Bringing your hands to the top of your thighs, straight back, and just breathing here. Really getting comfortable and setting into this as we set up for reclining hero. Bringing our hands behind us now, middle fingers pointed outwards that way. Leaning back, pushing our chest outwards. Breathing. For every exhale, allowing our quads to get more and more comfortable. If you feel your ankles or anything falling asleep, or if you feel your knees pinching, you want to lightly spread your feet out a little bit from your butt. Kind of toy around with where exactly they like to be. You should only feel it in your quads. Lowering down one more time. You want to scoot your butt up a little bit. We're going to be leaning back, turning our hands back towards our butts. Lower it back again. Breathing, readjusting your feet if you need to. One more breath here. If you can, you're feeling comfortable, laying all the way back into reclined hero. Shoulders on the mat. Placing your hands on your belly. Breathing. Coming up and out of reclined hero. Using your elbows to help you. First coming up on your elbows and dropping your arms and hands down. Slowly pushing yourselves up, all the way up. Using your hands to help release your ankles. One at a time. Bringing those feet together. And then slowly straightening those legs out to negate them being bent for so long. Maybe giving yourself a little knee massage. Shaking your legs out a little bit, moving them up and down, wiggling them around. From here, we're going to go straight into Savasana. So if you need any props, blankets, blocks, pillows to place underneath your knees, your back, your neck, Go ahead and grab those now. And when you're ready, laying back and getting comfortable on your mat. Palms open. Before going into Savasana, we're going to do those joint rolls again, starting with our wrists. It's important to cool down just as much as it's important to warm up. Rotating them one way, and then switching directions. Going front to back. Lowering our hands down, doing it with our ankles, which probably feels really good after reclining hero. Switching directions. And then heel to toe. And then when you're ready, closing your eyes and getting back comfortable for Shavasana. Breathing very deep breaths as you wind your mind down, winding your body down, relaxing your body, relaxing your mind. Just like with the flexibility exercises, using every exhale to allow your body to sink deeper into itself, sink deeper into the mat. As we close out Shavasana and bring our practice to an end, bringing awareness first back to our mind, to where we are, to what we're doing. And then beginning to bring awareness back to our bodies. Slowly wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, moving your head a bit. And when you're ready, rolling to your right side. Using your left hand, placing it on the ground to help you bring yourself back up and around to a seated position. Bringing our hands to heart center. Thank you guys so much for joining this flow with me today. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you come back and flow with me again next time. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Until next time, friends. Peace.